Today we are going to divide mixed numbers. Okay, let's go over our steps for dividing fractions here. First, you need two fractions. So you may have to place a 1 under a whole number or change a mixed number to an improper fraction. Second, you flip the second fraction and change the division symbol to a multiplication. Third, you see if you can crisscross simplify and multiply. So let's look at our example here. We have a mixed number of 2 5/8 divided by 3 wholes. So the first thing that they have to do is take that mixed number and make that an improper fraction. So they multiplied the 2 wholes times the 8 denominator and got 16 and add the numerator to it. So that's where they get the 21/8. Then they put a 1 under the 3 wholes. That's where they get the 3/1. So step 2, they take that second fraction and they flip it and change the division symbol to a multiplication. So now they can multiply. So let's try that on this problem here. We have a mixed number 3 1/2 divided by 4 wholes. So step 1, we need two fractions. So we're going to take our 3 wholes and we're going to multiply that by our 2 denominator. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 gives us 7. Our denominator stays the same, so it's 7/2. We're going to change our division to multiplication and we're going to flip that second fraction because we had to put a 1 underneath that 4. Now we're going to do step 3 and see if we can crisscross simplify. So are there any numbers that we can divide both the 7 and 4 by? No. What about the 2 and the 1? No. So we can go ahead and multiply numerators and denominators. So our answer would be 7/8. Okay, on our next one here, we've got our mixed number of 2 1/3. So we need to make that into a fraction. 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 is 7, so that gives us an improper fraction of 7/3. Put a 1 underneath that 7. Change to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Step 3, we're going to see if we can crisscross simplify. Let's look at our 7 and our 7. What can both of those be divided by? Well, they both can be divided by 7. So we're going to do the same thing to both of them. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. What about the 3 and the 1? Is there anything that both of those can be divided by? No, so we can go ahead and multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3, so our answer is 1/3. Okay, let's look at our next one. We have a mixed number of 5 1/9 divided by another mixed number of 7 2/3. So we do not have two fractions, so we need to make those into two fractions, two improper fractions. So 5 times the 9 gives me 45, plus the 1 is 46 ninths. I'm going to leave that division the same for just a second. Now I need to take this mixed number, make it into an improper fraction. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23/3. Okay, now we're going to go to our step 2. 46 ninths, change it to a multiplication, flip the second fraction. Okay, what can 9 and 3 both be divided by? They both can be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now we can multiply. 46 times 1 is 46. 3 times 23 is 69. So our answer is 46/69. Our next one has two mixed numbers, so we need to change those to improper fractions. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so that would be 3/2. Leave the division the same for a minute. 8 times the 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33/4. Now we can change to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Step 3, let's see if we can crisscross simplify. The 3 and the 33, what can both of those be divided by? They both can be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 33 divided by 3 is 11. What about the 2 and the 4? Those both can be divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now I can do step 3 and I can multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 11 is 11. So our answer is 2/11. Okay, on this one we have a mixed number and a whole number. So we need to make them into two fractions. Take our 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 4 is 14/5. We would put a 1 underneath my 7. Step 2, change to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Now crisscross simplify. Can both of those be divided by? Well, they both can be divided by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 is 1. The 1 and the 5, they cannot be divided by anything, so we're going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5, so our answer is 2/5. Next one, we need to put a 1 underneath my whole. Multiply 1 times 3 is 3, plus the 1 is 4. So we have 4/3. So we are going to change to multiplication, flip the second fraction. Now let's see if we can crisscross simplify. Let's look at our 4 and our 4. Well, both of those can be divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. The 1 and the 3, we can't divide those by anything, so we're going to go ahead and multiply. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 1 is 1. So when we simplify that, because it is an improper fraction, that would be 3 wholes. Our next one, we need to put a 1 underneath our 8, change our mixed number to an improper. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So we have 8/1 divided by 16/3. Okay, let's do step 2 now. Change to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Let's see if we can crisscross simplify for step 3. Our 8 and our 16, those both can be divided by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Now we can look at our 3 and our 1, and those are the lowest we can go, so we can go ahead and multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times the 2 is 2, so I have an improper fraction, so I need to go ahead and simplify that. Remember, bottom dog goes outside the house, top dog goes in the house. Goes into, how many times can 2 go into 3? 1 time. Multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract. Bring down, nothing to bring down. Circle your holes. That gives us 1 whole and 1/2. Okay, on our last one, we would have to put a 1 underneath our 5 and change our mix to an improper. 4 times the 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25/6. Step 2, we're going to change it to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Step 3, let's see if we can crisscross simplify. Our 5 and our 25 both can be divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Now I can multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. I have an improper fraction. So my bottom dog outside the house, top dog in the house. Goes into, 5 goes into 6 one time. Multiply. Subtract. Bring down. Nothing to bring down, so we're going to circle our holes. So we have 1 whole and 1/5. So today we went over our steps for dividing fractions. First we needed 2 fractions, so we had to put a 1 underneath the whole numbers, and we had to change our mixed numbers to an improper fraction. Second step, we flipped the second fraction and changed the division symbol to a multiplication. And third, we saw if we could crisscross simplify, and then we multiplied. And on some of them, we had to simplify our answers because they were improper.